So today I'm going to take another ride on my BD250. Let's put a few more miles on this motor. So here in Minnesota we have quite a few gravel roads. This equipment here on the left, it's called a grader, and they smooth out the dirt roads, eliminating that washboard effect. Okay, let's talk about some of the likes and the dislikes with the bike. Firstly, I like the look of it. I like the way it handles. It handles pretty good. It stops well. The brakes are good on it. I don't have any problems with the brakes. They feel a little bit spongy compared to some of my other bikes, but they work fine, and they pull up straight, so that's not a problem. The back brake you can lock up easy. There's obviously no anti-lock braking on it of any kind, which I would not expect on a $2,500 bike anyway. The seating position is okay. I'm not used to a sports bike type seating position, so that was probably a little bit of a shock to me when I got up back on this one again after riding dual sports. But it's not a real deal breaker. You get used to it. You lean a lot more on this one. If the corner tightens up, you have to lean into that corner to get it to go round. So dislikes. My biggest dislike with this bike so far is how noisy the exhaust is. I mean, I wear earplugs under my helmet, and still it's not a particularly nice sound. It probably sounds okay out on the road, but actually when you're riding the bike and you're at indicated 5,000 RPM, it's quite noisy, it's quite loud. I don't think I'd want to ride for hours on end with the exhaust being quite so loud as it is. And so the other issue that I have is with the gearing. There's 6 speeds on this one, and they're very close together. And I can get up into 6th gear really quickly. Now, I've seen people online saying they don't even use 6th gear, it's unusable, but I have no problem getting up into 6th gear. But the problem is that it's geared too low, so when you get up into 6 and you're only doing 50 miles an hour, it needs to be geared up a little bit more. You could actually have a 1st gear where 2nd is, and then you could have a higher 6th gear. That would be ideal. There's not many aftermarket parts for these bikes, and not for front or rear sprockets. So the only way I could actually do it, I think, is if I could find a sprocket that fits another bike and use that one instead. I haven't been out at night time yet to see what the headlights are like. I'm guessing they're pretty bad because I took the bulb out. It's one of those LED bulbs. The 2 LED modules point up and down, whereas 90% of the bulbs you buy, they actually are east-west. But yeah, on the whole, it seems pretty good. I don't really see a problem with it at all. And I mean, come on, look at that. I mean, it looks pretty darn good for the money. And I'm sure I'm going to be the butt of many jokes being called a boom. But as yet, nobody said anything to me. I didn't want to risk my DJI cameras on the car, so I just used a budget 4K action cam. For $50, it's not too bad really. definitely getting better to ride. It doesn't feel quite so rigid as it did. I did let the tyre pressures down a little bit, so that probably helped. I've got them down to about 30 psi now, and I did have them at 35 or 36, so that helps. But it's all starting to loosen up. Suspension's loosening up. The brakes are starting to work pretty good. Yeah, it's quite fun. Power-wise, yeah, there's not very much power at all. But you know, you get used to it. This sort of thing I used to ride back in the 70s, this sort of power, so, and you got along with it then as a youngster. Now I'm older, I don't really need all the power. But definitely this bike does need gearing up. The gear spacing is pretty near spot on, but it just needs to be geared up a little bit. You know, first gear, unless you're really going very slowly in town, is almost unusable, because you can pull away in second gear most places anyway. Okay, so that was a nice ride. I've just done about 10 miles. The temperature is about 77 degrees and it's absolutely beautiful. A little bit breezy, but that's fine. The bike is performing wonderfully. No problems at all. It's loosening up now. Suspension's loosening up. The brakes are getting better and the engine is definitely loosening up. I can easily get it up to 6,000 indicated now without any struggle at all. Of course, I'm lightweight anyway. I'm 125 pounds. So with my gear on everything, maybe about 140. It accelerates pretty good, you know, considering I'm only using a half throttle most of the time, trying to run it in correctly. So I do like the bike, no regrets buying it whatsoever. In fact, I love it. The seat's a little bit uncomfortable. I might have to do something about that, put some extra padding there or something. But you do 100 miles on it and that's probably enough really. The other thing I've noticed is a little bit of vibration through the foot pegs and through the handlebars, very high frequency vibration. So you get a tingling in your hands and a little bit in your feet, but it's no big deal at all really. I can live with it. So I've done 145 miles with it so far and the fuel gauge has just come off the full mark, so it's 1 bar down. I'm not absolutely sure what the tank holds, I've forgotten, but I'll put it down here so that you can see it. Speedo overreads by about 9 miles per hour at 55 and about 6 miles per hour at 30. So when it's indicating on here 36 or 37, you're doing 30 miles per hour. And when it's indicating 64 on here, you're doing 55 miles per hour. As long as you know those figures, then it's not so bad. But I think probably the miles are overreading a little bit as well. So I'll have to look into that. I'll do a mileage check on the way home and I'll let you know when I get back to see what how close it was. Tires are getting much better now. They're wearing in a little bit. I haven't got that lumpiness I had before. I think they were flat spotted from storage and that seems to improve now. I have had the tires off. You may have noticed that the wheels are now white. Well, I did actually remove the wheels and the tires and I sprayed the wheels white with a clear coat because I wasn't a big fan of the black wheels. Everything's got black wheels nowadays and I like the 1980s retro Honda look, which had red tank, red and white graphics and white wheels. Or even though this motorcycle is based on the Kawasaki Ninja 300, it's pretty much identical. You almost wouldn't know the difference from a distance unless of course you're a Ninja 300 owner and then you'd know right away. But from a distance you see it go by, you'd probably think it was a Kawasaki. So I like the look of it very much. And I think I mentioned before I'd like to put another exhaust on it. The exhaust is so noisy. It's crazy. I just don't like it at all. Even with earplugs in and a full face helmet, it still makes a lot of noise in your head. So I'd like to change that if I can. By putting 2 exhausts on, I think that will actually even it out, probably be a little bit quiet. I'll have to see how that is. And it won't restrict it too much, so that'll be good. It's a very basic engine. It's not a high revving engine, it's just a plodder, and that's very nice. That's what I want. I want longevity out of this engine. I want it to last a long time. So that's why I'm trying to run it in correctly. I'll probably get to 500 miles before I start giving it a full throttle. And I'll probably get to 300 miles before I change the oil to a better grade. So here we are. Just went for a quick ride up to the river here. Looks pretty low, in actual fact. I remember when there used to be a bridge here. I've actually got a picture of me on the bridge with my DR650, the old bridge that used to be here. It was a metal bridge. Wow, yeah, that is low. That water is low. Look at the butterflies here. Ah, so peaceful. So yeah, there we go. There's our ride. It's only a 200cc motorbike from a distance until you get up close and look at it and see it's a single cylinder engine. But this thing will plod along, I think, pretty much all day at 50 mile an hour. When it gets to 55 or 60, it's getting up there a little bit, buzzes a little bit. I think the gearing needs to be a little bit higher. It's just a little bit too slow, I think, for 6th gear. Like I say, 50 mile an hour at 6th gear is a comfortable speed. And obviously you want to get up to 65 in some of the freeways, and actually 70. I don't think I'd want to do 70 miles an hour on this bike on a freeway. But I know it's capable of doing it, but it would be buzzing pretty high by then. The actual layout of the bike is certainly very safe. I have no problem with that at all. It's just the engine is not quite large enough to maintain 70 miles an hour all day, every day. So I think really it's more of a commuter bike and the occasional smaller road where you're doing 55 miles per hour, and I think it'd be absolutely ideal. And can you really go wrong for the price? It's crazy, absolutely crazy. How do they do this? How do they sell this bike over here in the United States for, I said, 2,000 I paid for this, just over 2,000, which is crazy, you know, it really is. You can't buy any second-hand bike anywhere near that price at Yamaha, Honda or Suzuki or that type of thing, unless it's 10 or 15 years old. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, really. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to run down the road again, because I need to get some airflow over me, because it's pretty hot here. And I'll see, I've gone 6 miles now, so I'll see what the GPS says and what the speedo says on the bike, and we'll see what 6 miles comes up with. Okay, here we go. Oh, whoa, whoops-a-daisy. That sand is really soft. Nearly tipped it over then. Yeah, it's pretty warm. No doubt about that. Let's show it going down the road. Something different. Should be able to see all the gauges and that. Whether the sun is going to be too bright, you might not be able to see that, but you might be able to. We're here by the Rum River, and I seem to remember the last time I put a canoe in here, the river was really high, very high. You couldn't even see where the edges of the banks were because the water was so high. Okay, here we go. Actually, it's 4 miles to my destination, not 6. So we've got 64, so it should be 68 when we get there. I'm sure it'll be a little bit higher than that. doing 65 mile an hour. The rep counter is showing 6,000 RPM. I don't know how accurate that is. I think it's somewhere about it, I would think. The RPM is correct, the speed is not. And by the way, the headlights are terrible, absolutely terrible. I keep high beam on all the time and still can hardly see them, so I need to change those LED bulbs out for some halogen bulbs, because these are just not capable of seeing anything. What a beautiful day this is. I hope I gave you a little bit of useful information in that video. It was a little bit of a random ride around over a couple of days. But now the weather here in Minnesota's cooled down a little bit. I might be able to get out and clock up some more miles. I got 200 miles on the odometer at the moment. I got to get up to 1,000 and then I'll do another little review on it. So I hope you like this and I'll catch you guys later.